Friends, there's a message in Isaiah 43 that calls out to us right here, right now. It says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43, 18, 19. These words aren't just beautiful, they're a promise. A declaration of renewal, of hope, and most importantly, of the power to rise again. Many of us look back at moments in life and feel the weight of lost time, of wasted years we thought were empty. That felt stagnant, moments we wish we could rewind and do over. But here's the truth, your years were not wasted. They were the soil, the seeds, the quiet spaces in which a new thing was beginning. Just because we can't always see the growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Isaiah 43 calls us to look beyond those regrets and embrace the transformation that's already happening within us. It says, do not dwell on the past. Why? Because dwelling is a choice. It's a decision to keep our eyes locked on what's behind instead of what's ahead. You can't reach for the new while clinging to the old. Those years may have been difficult, but they didn't break you, they built you, they prepared you. Let me tell you something, the most powerful prayer you'll ever pray for your past is this: thank you. Yes, gratitude is the most profound and freeing prayer for the years we think we've lost. When we say thank you, we transform those wasted years into years of purpose. We realize that even in the quiet, in the struggle, in the heartache, we were learning, stretching, and becoming. And now Isaiah says, God is doing a new thing. It's springing up, but here's the question, do you perceive it? Sometimes we miss it because it doesn't look like what we expected. New growth doesn't always arrive with trumpets blaring. Often, it's quiet, subtle, the soft start of something powerful. And in those moments, our role is to be alert, to choose to see the promise over the pain, the possibility over the past. Your future doesn't belong to your regrets. It belongs to your vision, to your courage, to your willingness to step forward, even when the path seems unclear. What would happen if you looked at today as the day of a new beginning? That moment when you finally forgive yourself for the past and say, I am ready. So let's make this our prayer. I release what was and I step into what can be. I let go of the past so I can fully embrace the future that's unfolding. Friends, there is something powerful waiting for you on the other side of those old thoughts, of those feelings of loss. It's not just about reclaiming wasted time. It's about unlocking a new kind of strength within you, a strength that only comes from journeying through the dark and into the light. Today, let's live in that newness. Let's walk forward with eyes open to what is springing up within and around us. Because right here, right now, it's already happening. Releasing the past is not just a one-time decision, it's a process, a commitment to continually choosing the present over what's already gone. It's often said that the past is a foreign country, a place we can visit but never truly inhabit again. Yet for so many of us, our minds pull us back into the scenes of yesterday, replaying moments, regrets, and disappointments that seem to haunt our present moments. It's natural to remember, to reflect, to carry pieces of where we've been. After all, our past experiences shape us, give us the wisdom we carry, and mark the journey we've traveled. But when these memories, especially the painful ones, take up more space than our dreams for the future, we find ourselves held back, unable to move forward with clarity and purpose. Releasing the past isn't about forgetting or pretending events never happened. It's about shifting how we view those experiences and learning to let them exist without allowing them to control our actions, thoughts, and potential. The past can be a comfortable place, oddly familiar even when it holds pain. We're often more comfortable staying in that place, ruminating, than venturing into the unknown of our future. Holding on to it can feel like a form of protection, a way of keeping ourselves guarded from future hurt by staying rooted in what we already know. Yet in reality, it's like carrying an anchor into each new day, a weight that drags us down and prevents us from exploring the possibilities of the present. Every experience, good or bad, leaves a mark, a memory, and a lesson. But as we carry these marks, we have to decide if we'll let them serve us or if we'll let them sink us. Releasing the past requires a shift in perspective. It calls us to see that while we may have been hurt, disappointed, or made mistakes, these moments don't define our worth or potential. When we cling to what was, we unconsciously tell ourselves that our best days or our defining moments are already behind us. But if we look carefully, we realize that every day brings a new chance to grow beyond those moments. That hurt, that disappointment, they taught us something. Perhaps they revealed our resilience, or maybe they showed us what we don't want, helping us clarify our values and desires. The past is a teacher, but it is not a place to build our lives. Every morning, wake up, we have the opportunity to choose a new thought, a new way forward. We don't have to remain tethered to who we were or what happened. To release the past, we need to start by forgiving others and most importantly ourselves. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as condoning what happened or as weakness, but forgiveness is freedom. When we forgive, we aren't erasing memories, we're choosing to let go of the bitterness, resentment, and emotional weight we've been carrying. For many, self-forgiveness is the hardest part. We hold on to guilt, replaying our perceived failures and shortcomings, convinced that if we beat ourselves up enough, we'll somehow make things right. But the truth is that no amount of self-punishment will change what's done. What we can do is learn, grow, and commit to doing better with the wisdom we've gained. Self-forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring our mistakes. It means recognizing them, understanding why we acted the way we did, and making peace with the person we were so we can become the person we want to be. Releasing the past also requires honesty. We have to be willing to look at what we're holding on to and ask ourselves why. Are we holding on to a relationship, a job, or a certain image of ourselves because it feels familiar, even if it no longer serves us? Often we cling to things out of fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of what others will think. But these fears only bind us to a version of ourselves that's no longer true. Sometimes we hold on to the past because it gives us an excuse. As long as we're rooted in what happened to us, we don't have to face the challenge of stepping into our full potential. But true growth requires courage to acknowledge what has passed and to let it stay in the past. Moving forward doesn't mean that we'll never think of the past or that we won't feel a pang of nostalgia, regret, or even sadness. But it means choosing not to let those feelings dictate our choices. We acknowledge the emotion, honor the journey, but we keep our eyes on the horizon ahead. This is where faith comes into play, faith in ourselves and in the life that's waiting for us. When we trust that our future holds something meaningful, we find the strength to leave behind what no longer serves us. Our journey is not a straight line, and it's not always easy, but every step forward is a testament to our resilience, to our commitment to growth, and to our belief that there's more waiting for us. Releasing the past is an act of liberation. It's choosing to free ourselves from the shackles of what if, and if only the what ifs, and if onlys are thieves of the present moment. They rob us of the chance to be fully here, to appreciate the beauty of now, and to invest in the future we want to create. When we release the past, we reclaim our energy. We stop pouring our time and thoughts into things that are no longer within our control and redirect that energy toward the things we can influence: our mindset, our actions, and our outlook on life. It's a reclaiming of our personal power, a declaration that we are more than our experiences, more than the labels or narratives we've carried. There's a beautiful strength in releasing the past because it's an acknowledgement that we're ready for something more. It's not about dismissing our experiences, but about holding them with a lighter touch, knowing that they were a part of us, but that they do not have to define us. This journey requires gentleness. We won't always get it right. There will be days when memories resurface, when old patterns creep back in. But each time we catch ourselves, each time we gently bring ourselves back to the present, we get a little stronger, a little more rooted in the person we are becoming. Releasing the past is a choice to live fully, to give ourselves the gift of new beginnings again and again. It's a radical act of self-love and faith in life. We cannot change what has happened, but we can choose how we respond to it, how we carry it, and how we allow it to shape us. The past may be a part of our story, but it doesn't have to be the whole story. The chapters ahead are blank pages, and we have the pen in our hands. By releasing the past, we open ourselves to the freedom to write new chapters that are infused with hope, courage, and the strength that comes from knowing we've walked through storms and emerged with the power to create a life that's truly our own. And so we release the past not as an act of forgetting, but as an act of embracing what lies ahead with open arms, trusting that every step we take forward brings us closer to the person we were always meant to be. Time has a mysterious way of shaping our lives. We feel it slipping away as the days pass, especially when it feels like life has slowed to a halt. Or worse, when we've struggled through pain, uncertainty, or loss. Many of us look back and see stretches of our lives we wish we could undo or replay. A time we label as wasted, those days, months, or even years feel like they amount to little. But if we step back, we begin to see something deeper happening in the journey of life. In reality, no time is wasted because every moment is building us, strengthening us, and quietly preparing us for what lies ahead. Consider how life isn't just about accomplishments, milestones, or events we can clearly name and count. Some of the most powerful transformations happen beneath the surface, where growth isn't visible to the outside eye. When we plant a seed, we know that much of its early growth is hidden beneath the soil. For days, even weeks, it looks as if nothing is happening. In this way, our lives are much like that seed. When we're growing, it isn't always obvious. There are times when growth happens in the quiet of our lives, when things feel stagnant or unclear. This growth often comes from the experiences we label as wasted time. We tend to value time based on what's productive, measurable, or noticeable, but true growth doesn't always fit those metrics. If we look back on moments when we faced disappointment, isolation, or failure, those weren't merely lost periods, they were times when we were being refined. Just as fire purifies gold, challenges and difficult times can purify us, preparing us for the next season of life. Often this doesn't feel obvious in the moment. We might find ourselves asking, why did I go through that? Or what good came out of those years? Yet with perspective, we begin to see how those very moments were what prepared us for the times when we could rise stronger, clearer, and more resilient. Sometimes life pushes us into situations we'd never choose ourselves, but these moments aren't arbitrary. They contain lessons we couldn't learn any other way. Time spent in discomfort, in challenge, or in uncertainty teaches us things that smooth, straightforward years simply cannot. They show us patience, resilience, and depth. They reveal who we truly are when things don't go as planned. The time we spent facing setbacks or struggling in situations we didn't fully understand was building our inner strength. We were developing qualities and learning truths that we would one day carry forward into new opportunities and brighter seasons. Think of a person who has faced rejection or failure and found themselves in a period of waiting, wondering if their dreams are slipping away. In that waiting, they learn resilience. They discover that their worth isn't defined by one moment or one opportunity. This realization doesn't diminish the pain they felt, rather it gives that pain a purpose. They come to understand that even the most challenging times have meaning beyond what we can initially see. And in that understanding, they are freed from the need to label those years as wasted. They realize that the person they became in those moments, the strength, the endurance, the clarity could not have come without the experiences they once considered a loss. Each experience adds to our lives in ways that aren't always immediately clear. Every difficulty, every moment of perceived failure teaches us something invaluable about who we are and what we're capable of overcoming. No part of our journey is wasted because every step is a part of the process that builds us. Often we think of time in linear terms, a straight line from point A to point B, where progress means always moving forward and upward. But life is far more complex than a straight line. Growth often looks like a spiral where we find ourselves revisiting themes and lessons we thought we'd move past. This doesn't mean we're moving backward. It means we're going deeper, understanding more, and building a foundation that will support us in the future. It's in these cyclical moments, these times we feel we're not advancing, that the real work happens. We may not see it in the day-to-day today, but these seasons are when we are most actively engaged in our growth. When we can't rely on obvious markers of progress, we're invited to find a new kind of purpose in the journey itself. We learn to trust that life is working for us, even when it doesn't look like it. And in doing so, we discover the power of resilience, not just the ability to withstand challenges, but to emerge from them with a renewed sense of purpose and strength. Consider the stories of people who achieved great things after years of struggle. We admire these stories because they show us the power of perseverance. But what we often miss is that the waiting, the setbacks, the moments of doubt were not just prerequisites to success, they were necessary parts of the journey. Those years of so-called wasted time were times of preparation. The experiences that equipped them to handle the success that eventually came. Without those wasted moments, they wouldn't have become the person capable of achieving what they did. It wasn't just their talents or hard work that brought them success, it was also their ability to find value in every part of the journey, even the parts that felt pointless or painful. When we look at life with this perspective, we see that the years we once thought of as empty actually held a deep, transformative power. They taught us things we didn't even realize we were learning. They shaped us in ways that only become clear with time. These periods of waiting or perceived stagnation are a part of the larger picture of our lives. They are the times when we were gathering strength, when we were developing the resilience and wisdom that we would need in the future. So often we look back and wish we could redo certain years, make different choices, or skip the times we struggled. But it's precisely in those moments of challenge and uncertainty that we were being prepared for the future. Every part of our lives, the highs and the lows, are woven together to create the fabric of who we are. Nothing is wasted. Our lives are not just a sum of achievements or clear milestones. They are a series of moments, each one building upon the other, each one adding depth and dimension to who we are. When we begin to see our lives in this way, we stop regretting the years we once labeled as lost. Instead, we start to see them as necessary, even sacred, parts of our journey. We come to understand that growth doesn't always look the way we expect it to. Sometimes it happens in the stillness, in the moments when it feels like nothing is changing. Sometimes it happens in the midst of pain, in the times when we feel we're furthest from where we want to be. But always in ways we may not fully understand, it is happening. The truth is, life isn't only about what we accomplish. It's about who we become. And sometimes becoming who we're meant to be requires seasons of waiting, of struggle, and of seemingly wasted time. These seasons are when we develop qualities like patience, empathy, and inner strength. They are when we learn to trust the process, to believe in ourselves, and to find meaning in the journey itself. No time is ever truly wasted because every moment, every experience is a part of our growth. When we start to see our lives from this perspective, we begin to let go of the need to label any part of our journey as wasted. We recognize that even the most challenging times are a part of the process, a part of what makes us who we are. We see that our lives are not a straight line from point A to point B, but a rich, complex tapestry of experiences that all work together to shape us. And with this understanding, we can move forward with a sense of purpose and peace, knowing that no matter where we are on the journey, we are exactly where we need to be. No time is wasted. Gratitude has the unique power to transform regret, a truth that resonates deeply in the human experience. Regret, for most of us, is a companion we often carry in silence, a shadow that lingers over past choices, lost opportunities, or words left unsaid. It's a feeling that can burden the heart, seeping into moments meant for joy, nudging us to dwell on what might have been instead of what is. Yet gratitude, when embraced with intention, can reshape our view of these moments, infusing them with purpose and ultimately peace. Regret tends to pull us backward, binding our focus to a reality that can no longer be changed. It's the mind's way of reminding us of lessons learned, perhaps even scolding us with what if and if only. The weight of regret can be immobilizing, trapping us in a loop of self-doubt and frustration. But gratitude takes that very same energy and redirects it, grounding us in a present that is open, full of possibility, and forgiving. Gratitude, by its very nature, shifts our awareness from what is missing to what is meaningful, from what we lack to what we lack to what we have, and from the burden of the past to the gift of the present. Where regret tightens, gratitude loosens. Where regret darkens, gratitude illuminates. When we begin to practice gratitude, especially toward moments we once saw as mistakes or missteps, we start to view our experiences through a new lens. Rather than simply wishing things were different, we start to find value in the lessons we learned along the way. That job we lost, for example, might have led us to new skills or a path we never imagined. A broken relationship may have taught us about the boundaries we needed or the respect we deserved. In essence, gratitude turns hindsight into insight, allowing us to mine wisdom from our experiences rather than dwelling on the disappointments. This doesn't mean rewriting history or pretending that pain didn't happen. Instead, it means acknowledging the impact of those moments, recognizing their role in our growth, and choosing to see them as pieces of a larger picture, one that is still being painted. Gratitude enables us to soften our grip on regret. Often, regret is fueled by an illusion of control that somehow, if we had done things differently, our lives would be different, perhaps even perfect. But life isn't a series of perfect choices. It's a journey of discovery, filled with surprises, challenges, and changes we never anticipated. By being grateful for our journey, including the detours, we honor the reality that growth often requires going off script. Gratitude reminds us that while we can't control every outcome, we can choose our perspective and find beauty even in the unexpected. Our regrets then are not reminders of failure, but markers of courage, moments when we stepped out and tried something, even if it didn't turn out as planned. There is a profound peace that comes from reframing regret with gratitude. When we look back on our choices, instead of judging ourselves harshly, we can begin to see the good that came from them, the resilience we built, the strength we discovered, the compassion we learned. Life is often our best teacher, and the mistakes we made were part of our education. Gratitude allows us to appreciate this education, recognizing that each chapter of our lives, whether bright or challenging, contributed to the person we are becoming. With this outlook, regret loses its sting, transforming from a source of pain to a point of reference that helps us stay humble, human, and hopeful. Gratitude, as a transformative practice, also brings forgiveness into our hearts. Regret often traps us in cycles of self-judgment, holding on to a version of ourselves that no longer exists. But when we choose gratitude, we are choosing to forgive ourselves for the choices that led to disappointment. We acknowledge that we did the best we could with what we knew at the time. Gratitude for our own humanity, our own imperfection, invites us to let go of the unrealistic standards we sometimes hold ourselves to. We are not meant to be flawless, we are meant to grow. And growth by nature involves taking risks, making mistakes, and learning as we go. Gratitude helps us see the beauty in that process, allowing us to release ourselves from the chains of regret and to embrace the freedom of self-acceptance. Gratitude also connects us more deeply to others. Often our regrets are linked to relationships, missed connections, unspoken words, or actions we wish we could take back. When we choose gratitude, we can start to appreciate the people who have been part of our journey, even if our paths have diverged. We can recognize the value they brought into our lives, the joy, the lessons, the shared moments. Gratitude allows us to honor those connections without clinging to the past or wishing for a different outcome. It frees us to appreciate what was, cherish what is, and remain open to what will be. In this way, gratitude heals relational regrets, enabling us to remember fondly and let go lovingly rather than holding on to pain. Another way gratitude transforms regret is by deepening our empathy. When we experience regret and work through it with gratitude, we become more compassionate toward others who are walking their own paths. We understand that life is complex, that everyone carries their own set of choices and regrets, and that we are all doing the best we can. Gratitude for our own struggles allows us to be gentler with others, to listen more, judge less, and support those who may still be wrestling with their own burdens. This empathy not only strengthens our relationships, but also enriches our lives, fostering a sense of connection and understanding that transcends our individual experiences. Through gratitude, we also start to see the resilience that regret helped cultivate within us. Each time we face a choice we wish we had made differently, we gain new insight and resilience. These moments shape us, toughening our spirit, teaching us patience, and reinforcing our capacity to overcome. When we look back with gratitude, we see not only the scars, but the strength we gained through the journey. This resilience, this ability to rise again, is one of the most powerful gifts life offers us. And gratitude helps us recognize it, turning our regrets into symbols of perseverance rather than signs of failure. Living with gratitude does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that disappointment doesn't hurt. It means honoring those feelings, allowing ourselves to feel them fully, and then choosing to look for the lesson or blessing within them. It's a conscious decision to hold space for both the pain and the wisdom, acknowledging that they coexist and that both have value. Gratitude doesn't erase regret, it transforms it, giving it a new meaning and allowing us to grow from it. The beauty of gratitude is that it shifts our perspective, enabling us to see life's challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles in our path. We begin to appreciate the depth of our own journey, understanding that the valleys are as important as the peaks, that the setbacks are as significant as the successes. In this way, gratitude allows us to live fully in the present, free from the weight of regret and open to the beauty of what lies ahead. It brings a lightness to our spirit, a sense of freedom, and a renewed appreciation for the journey that is still unfolding. Choosing gratitude is not always easy, especially when regret feels strong. It requires courage, a willingness to look within, and the openness to accept that our past, with all its imperfections, is part of a greater story. But with each moment of gratitude, we heal a little more, finding peace with what has been and hope for what will be. Perceiving the new requires a shift in focus, a readiness to look beyond the surface and see what's unfolding within us and around us. It's easy to think that new beginnings come with a grand announcement or that transformation should arrive with clear signs, loud and unmistakable, but that's not how life often works. The most profound changes often start quietly, almost invisibly, taking shape in places we might not think to look. The call to perceive the new is about our willingness to tune into that subtle energy, to see the possibilities that may not look exactly as we envisioned but carry the potential to transform our lives. This often means letting go of rigid expectations, those mental pictures of how things should look. We each hold expectations and visions about the way we want our lives to unfold, how success, love, or fulfillment should manifest. Sometimes, however, these expectations can blind us to the actual blessings and changes that are already unfolding. It takes courage to release these tightly held ideas and open our minds to the possibility that the new thing in our lives may look different than anticipated. A new beginning doesn't always come neatly packaged. It can be messy, uncertain, or even uncomfortable. When we're open to perceiving the new, we're embracing flexibility and trusting that, despite appearances, change is happening. Perceiving the new is as much an inner process as it is an external one. Often the signs of a new beginning are subtle, like a growing sense of restlessness or an increased curiosity about something that once seemed trivial. It might show up as a small opportunity, an idea, or even a new relationship. These early signs are easy to overlook if we're focused solely on what we're missing or waiting for the perfect opportunity to come our way. The practice of perceiving the new requires us to cultivate awareness, a sort of gentle attentiveness that allows us to notice even the faintest hint of something emerging. It's as if we're scanning the horizon, patiently watching for the first signs of dawn, even while it's still dark. This attentiveness is especially vital because sometimes the new things in our lives start in ways that feel too small to be significant. Perhaps it's a shift in our mindset, the way we start looking at familiar problems, or a growing desire for change. These beginnings can be easy to dismiss or even ignore because they don't immediately yield dramatic results. But if we've learned anything from nature, it's that powerful things can grow from the smallest seeds. A single thought, a moment of inspiration, or a quiet decision can grow into something transformative. Perceiving the new means we're willing to nurture these small beginnings, to give them attention and energy, even when they're in their infancy, trusting that they'll grow and mature into something substantial. To truly perceive the new, we must also be willing to let go of the past and release what no longer serves us. This doesn't mean that we erase our memories or forget our experiences. Instead, it's about allowing ourselves to move beyond them, to make peace with what's behind us so that we're free to move forward. Holding on to past hurts, regrets, or disappointments can keep us from seeing what's ahead. It's like trying to walk forward while constantly looking over our shoulder. Our progress becomes slow, hesitant, and filled with doubt. When we free ourselves from the weight of the past, we create space in our hearts and minds for new experiences and growth. This act of release isn't always easy, as it can involve facing emotions or fears we've long avoided. But it's a necessary step if we're to truly open our eyes to what's next. Perceiving the new is also an invitation to cultivate hope and optimism. When we expect good things, when we allow ourselves to believe that something beautiful is on its way, we become more attuned to the positive changes around us. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that life is always easy. Rather, it's about choosing to see potential even in difficult circumstances. A hopeful mindset allows us to see beyond our current limitations and recognize the opportunities that are beginning to take shape. Hope sharpens our vision, helping us to see the faint outlines of what's possible, even when others might only see obstacles. This hope is not a naive denial of hardship, but a deep-seated belief that the future holds something valuable for us. Perceiving the new also invites us to embrace patience. Change doesn't always happen on our timeline, and growth can sometimes feel frustratingly slow. We might wonder why things aren't moving faster or why the results we're hoping for haven't materialized yet. But growth has its rhythm, and life unfolds at its own pace. When we're willing to be patient, we develop resilience and learn to trust the process. Patience allows us to appreciate the journey, to recognize that every step, even the seemingly insignificant ones, is part of something larger. Instead of pushing and forcing outcomes, we can relax into the rhythm of life, knowing that what's meant for us will arrive in its own time. There's a quiet wisdom in learning to see the new thing that's unfolding. Sometimes this wisdom requires us to step back, to create a little distance from our constant analyzing and striving. When we're overly focused on achieving or controlling outcomes, we can miss the gentle unfolding of life's gifts. Perceiving the new calls us to step into a state of openness, a place where we're receptive rather than forceful. As we cultivate this ability to perceive the new, we start to realize that life is full of potential, even in times of difficulty. The new thing we're searching for might not be a change in our external circumstances. It could be a change in our perspective, a renewed sense of purpose, or a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we open our minds to the possibility that transformation is already happening, we start to see signs everywhere in our conversations, in our thoughts, in our relationships, and even in the challenges we face. Perceiving the new is ultimately about aligning with life's flow, about recognizing that we are part of a greater unfolding, a journey that's continuously evolving. This perspective allows us to navigate life with more grace, knowing that every moment, every experience, and every lesson is contributing to our growth. The new thing that's emerging is often an invitation to deepen our understanding, to expand our capacity for love, and to step into a more authentic version of ourselves. It's not always easy to embrace this process, especially when it requires us to step out of our comfort zones, to challenge our old patterns, and to venture into the unknown. But this is the path to transformation, the way we move from who we've been to who we're meant to become. When we approach life with an open heart and an attentive mind, we start to notice the beauty in every moment, the richness in every experience. Perceiving the new teaches us to be present, to fully engage with the here and now, and to trust that we are exactly where we need to be. This trust doesn't eliminate challenges or hardships, but it gives us a sense of purpose and direction, a belief that our lives are unfolding in alignment with something greater than ourselves. This awareness allows us to face each day with courage, to embrace each moment with gratitude, and to move forward with the quiet confidence that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Perceiving the new is a journey, one that asks for our patience, our openness, and our willingness to see beyond the surface. As we embrace this journey, we discover that life is filled with opportunities for growth and renewal, even in the most unexpected places. By choosing to see these moments, to perceive the new in all its forms, we begin to live with a greater sense of purpose, a deeper connection to ourselves and to the world around us. In doing so, we open the door to a life that is vibrant, meaningful, and full of potential. T.O. Step into Strength and Vision is to answer a call that lives deep within each one of us. This is a call not just to exist, but to thrive, to be fully awake and aligned with a purpose that ignites us from within. Strength is not only about physical resilience, and vision is not only about goals. These are inner forces that empower us to rise beyond our limitations and fuel a life lived with intentionality and depth. When we think about stepping into strength, it means embracing every part of our journey and recognizing that the power we need already exists within us. This power often lies dormant, waiting for us to acknowledge it, to believe in it, and ultimately to bring it to life. To understand strength, we must first recognize that it isn't born in easy times. Strength grows in adversity, in those moments when we think we've reached our breaking point. But it's precisely there, in the midst of struggle, where we find something essential, a truth about who we are, about our ability to overcome. There's a reason that life tests us. It's in these tests, these so-called wasted years, that we are being prepared, refined, and fortified. The truth is, every difficulty we faced has been a stepping stone, each one crafting us into someone more resilient, someone wiser, someone who can step forward with a little more courage than before. Stepping into strength means owning this journey, realizing that we are not here in spite of our challenges, but because of them. Every scar tells a story of survival, and in embracing these stories, we recognize that our strength is, in fact, unbreakable. But it doesn't stop at strength. Vision is what turns strength into purpose. Vision is what takes us from mere survival to thriving. Vision is the ability to look ahead, to see beyond the immediate, to imagine a reality that doesn't yet exist. For some, vision is something they are born with, a clear sense of purpose or direction. But for others, it's something that comes from the trials of life, something we build as we gather experience, insight, and a clearer sense of what truly matters to us. Vision allows us to live with a purpose beyond ourselves, to strive for goals that stretch our minds and challenge our spirits. It keeps us from becoming stuck, from being content with just getting by. Vision drives us to step boldly into who we are meant to be, to take risks, and to grow in ways we never thought possible. When we talk about strength and vision, it's easy to think of them as two separate qualities. But in reality, they are deeply connected. Vision without strength is merely a dream. It's a longing that has no action, no substance behind it. And strength without vision is directionless, it's power with nowhere to go. Only when we bring these two together can we truly transform our lives. Stepping into strength and vision means that we acknowledge our own power and direct it towards something meaningful. We understand that we are capable of not just overcoming, but of creating, building, and leaving a legacy. This is what it means to be fully alive, to live with both intention and passion. The journey to this place isn't easy, but it is worth it. It requires that we let go of limiting beliefs, the thoughts that tell us we are not enough, that we don't deserve greatness, that our past defines us. But if we're honest, these thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not reality. They are not truth. Each of us has the power to choose a new story, to write a narrative that aligns with our highest self. The truth is that we are capable of far more than we think. The only limits that truly exist are the ones we place on ourselves. When we decide to step into our strength and vision, we choose to let go of these old limitations. We choose to believe in a future that isn't determined by our past, but by the power of our present decisions and the clarity of our goals. Strength and vision also require a level of self-commitment. It's not enough to have a goal in mind or to feel a surge of motivation. True strength and vision are built on consistency. They demand that we show up every day, even on the days when we don't feel strong, even when the vision feels distant or unclear. They require a steadfast dedication to growth, to progress, to forward movement. This is where many people falter. They give up too soon. They let fear, doubt, or setbacks convince them that it's too hard, that the dream is too big, that maybe it wasn't meant to be. But strength, real strength, means pushing through even when it feels impossible. Vision means keeping our eyes on the goal no matter how many detours we have to take. This level of commitment is rare, but it's what separates those who merely wish from those who achieve. Part of stepping into our strength and vision also means letting go of the need for approval or validation from others. This is one of the hardest things for many people. We are taught from a young age to seek approval, to measure our worth based on what others think. But this is a trap. It keeps us small. It keeps us from fully embracing our own unique path. The truth is, no one else can see your vision as clearly as you can. No one else has walked your path, felt your struggles, or dreamed your dreams. Stepping into strength and vision means that we learn to trust ourselves. We learn to listen to that inner voice, to the calling that is uniquely ours, and to pursue it with confidence, regardless of what anyone else thinks. And when we fully embrace this, when we live in a place of strength and vision, we become unstoppable. We are no longer driven by fear or insecurity, but by purpose and passion. We understand that life is too short to live on the sidelines, to play small, to let fear dictate our choices. Instead, we step boldly into the arena. We take risks, we make mistakes, and we learn from every experience. This is not about living a perfect life. It's about living a full life, a life where we are fully engaged, fully committed, and fully alive. One of the most powerful aspects of stepping into strength and vision is that it impacts not only us, but everyone around us. When we live with this level of purpose, we inspire others to do the same. Our courage becomes a source of strength for those who are watching. Our resilience gives hope to those who are struggling. Our vision encourages others to dream big, to push past their own limitations, and to step into their own power. This is how change happens. It starts within us, but it radiates outward, touching lives in ways we may never even realize. The beautiful thing about strength and vision is that they are available to every single one of us. It doesn't matter where we come from, what we've been through, or what others have told us. We have the power to choose a new path, to create a new reality, to build a life that aligns with our deepest values and our highest purpose. But it all begins with a decision. A decision to let go of fear, to release the past, to embrace our own power, and to step forward with unwavering confidence in our ability to create something extraordinary. When we live with strength and vision, we become the authors of our own story. We take control of our destiny. We no longer wait for permission, for the right time, or for someone else to show us the way. We become our own guide, our own source of strength, our own beacon of light. And in doing so, we discover a life that is rich with meaning, filled with joy, and abundant in possibility.